Welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And we've got, well, a good comparison, I think, Craig.
Yes.
We've got two trucks to pick from, and we're going to take teams on this one just so it's not confusing for the audience, because we ramble a lot. We've heard your comments. We're listening. It's on the record. I'm going to take the Ranger for this one, Craig. You're going to take the Tacoma Trailhunter.
Yes.
2025, 2024. They're both fresh. They're both recent, but they're not the same trim. But we've modified ours to be in the same category. That's what I'm interested to get into. So 3 things I want to answer here, Craig. Is it cool? Is it capable? And is it worth it? Talking money on this one.
Come on, step into my office over here.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the Monroney because, Brian, this thing's got a lot.
Size Ranger. Oh, sorry.
What?
That's a good looking Ranger right there.
Yeah. Over here. Keep. I need to get a cameraman. This is the 2025 Toyota Tacoma Trailhunter, or TRL Hunter.
Trailhunter.
This has the oxide bronze metallic. Look at that.
That is a nice looking paint
That's cool.
color.
In fact, it almost has like this glint of green in the sun.
Well, I also like that I was noticing when you parked a minute ago, all the colors on it go well with the earth tones we've added of mud. It's like,
yes. Now
really
we have toned down some of that shine with the earth tones.
Sure.
But it's only gotten cooler. This is a final assembly point in Mexico.
Okay.
Which is cool. And 22 city, 24 highway. More on that later. Ron, we have some options. We have the mud guards, ball mount, bed mount, mini tire down, spare, blah, 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 blah. Not very much.
So some accessories.
Some accessories,
but not a whole lot, though.
No, it gets us down to 64. Basically, the Trailhunter starts at 62. Ours ends up at 64.
With destination.
Basically, Trailhunters come stock with all you see here.
All you see here. Okay, well, I'm going to give you some deets on mine. It's my
Come
into my office,
okay,
Craig.
All right.
The American option here.
Ooh,
there's no Japanese parent company, and there's no, hey, right here, please.
Well,
and there's
where's yours made?
I don't think it's made in Mexico. Let me check real quick. I can't remember.
All right, this episode is brought to you by Lasfit. Lasfit's been giving us liners, which we absolutely love. We think they're the best in the business. But we've also gotten some lighting from them. Just go to lasfit.com, punch in your model, your year, make, and model, and they'll show you all the options for your particular vehicle, and they have a lot. We've got something special for the Ranger today. I want to show you all that, our long-term Ranger here, and that's the Lasfit L2 series, the L2 series LED bulbs, and this is a 7443. You can go on the website and see that for a Ranger if you got one yourself. Let's talk through actually installing this thing. You can see on the install, it's actually pretty quick. There's 2 screws on this actual Ranger for this little, and the bulb we're changing is the one down here. This is our turn indicator. This is our brake light, which is LED. And then this is actually a non-LED backup light. So that's what we have on our Ranger XLT. There's 2 screws that are actually really easy to get to. You just remove those 2 screws, pop the light housing out, and then you pop right back in. So pretty simple install. Let's kind of see what the after looks like now. Let's get this thing in there, get it in the right way, and let's walk outside and let's just see how bright it is, and we'll let you be the judge of how good it is. All right, we're outside here. You can see by the lights on my face that it's actually really bright, and it's quite impressive. I think it's this works. I want to turn around here in a minute so you can actually see it for yourself, but that's weird. Another good reason to have good backup lights, but you can see here it's actually really bright. Even on our camera here out in the middle of the night in the dark in the driveway, it's showing up, and I think it's pretty obvious that this is emitting a lot of light. It's definitely brighter, wider, and crisper. Looking at the garage and seeing all the light that is turned onto the garage, that's definitely way more than the before the OEM lights. This is impressive. Let's take it inside, back into the garage in the HQ2, and we'll let you look at the backup camera in the exact same position in the garage. Sorry about the mess, but I think you'll be able to tell on camera there how much it helps even with the backup camera, and we'll wrap up.
Here it is, Craig. This is the 2024 Ranger FX4. It is an FX4, but it's 4-wheel drive XLT. We have the FX4 package on this. We've taken that sticker off because we put the mustard ketchup chipotle stripe on the side. That's worth,
yeah, it looks like a Toyota sticker. Good for you.
No, Ford did it first.
Okay.
No one knows that, but Ford did it first.
How many people have asked you if that's a Toyota sticker?
Literally every person.
Okay, all right, continue.
All right, Craig, but really the only option we have is the FX4 off-road package, which gives you different suspension, which we've already changed. 373 locking rear diff, comes with running boards, which we didn't give a crap about, we took that off. And then our only options are the drop-in bed liner, which we threw away, or actually we gave to someone because it was just not for us, and the exterior keypad, which we love. Michigan, Craig, made in America by Americans. The total MSRP, Craig, is $42,425 after destination.
Oh, wow, that's a lot cheaper.
But there's more to that, Craig.
Oh.
We paid $38 for this truck.
Oh, wow.
Brand new. So that's a good thing to note. So there's quite a delta in price, but we've modified it. So
this is true. Brought up a really good point. Let's go over here. Yeah, $64,000 is a lot of money, but you're going to get into yours in a minute, and you've basically tried to get a lot of the mods that this thing has. Right? Okay. This thing looks good, right?
Yeah,
you talk about the color, but this thing looks good. That's because it has a 2.5 inch lift in the front and 1.5 inches in the rear.
Yep.
For a total ground clearance of 11 inches. More on that when we get to yours. You need some help.
Definitely.
11 inches, that gives you 35-degree approach angle, Brian.
Yep.
24 breakover and 22 departure. And Brian, come on down here. Nice skid plate here. It goes all the way back to the covers the transmission. We even have a rear diff skid plate.
Really?
Come on down the side here. I want to show you this though.
Okay.
We'll get back to underneath in a second, but I want to show you some other things that it comes stock with. It comes stock with 265 70 18s, because 18 is the new 17. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
33-inch tire from the factory from Toyota. That's pretty cool. This is the best Goodyear I've ever driven.
Really? I'm not going to go that far, but it's the second best Goodyear I've ever driven.
Okay, well, it's one of the better Goodyears I've ever driven, we've ever driven.
The point I'm making is they're okay, but for a trim like this, I would expect it to be like a pretty sick tire.
I'll say this. Mine looks cooler than yours.
Does it?
Well, with the dirt, yes.
Oh, with the dirt, okay.
But we also get the nice... Brian, we get the things that everybody does, every taco owner in the world. They get upper control arms and a nice suspension, the Old Man Emu, which that means if you're in the overlanding community, in the overland world, you want ARB, you want Old Man Emu, you want...
well, you want TRD, you want Toyota.
You want all that stuff. It comes with that, and that's really cool. Brian, look at this bad boy. This nice rock rail is not like the chintzy ones that just mount to the side. Yeah. It's actually mounted to the frame. It's actually full protection. You could forklift it right here and not damage anything.
It's a proper rail.
It's really nice. And when there's so many situations you're off-roading, that's handy. Confidence.
Hey, real quick, pause that. Will you side bump that again? I hear that every morning when I'm leaving the house too. Yeah.
Okay.
Just putting that there.
And let's move on back before we get to the rear suspension. Look underneath here. You might find something interesting that's not normally in the middle of the truck. That's the exhaust. So the Trailhunter gives you the exhaust right in the middle of the truck, because when you're doing that breakover thing, you don't have to worry about pinching it or crushing it, which you might see on yours might need some help.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do with that, Craig, is just cut ours to be cool like the Toyota. We're going to have to.
Also, Brian, I get that you don't have and you can't do yet, at least.
Yeah.
I get rear coil suspension, 5-link suspension, which is really nice. Although we'll get the ride and drive later. But also, ARB, look at that.
Yeah. I got you beat. We'll get to that.
You had to buy yours though. Mine came with that. Mine
can
also get a tailgate that actually folds down on its own.
Okay,
that's cool.
Yeah, because that won't ever break.
Well, no, it's a Toyota. And Brian, I get onboard air compressor. What are you going to do when your tires are low and you're going to get off the trail and air it up?
Look, with $20,000 left, I can buy a compressor.
Okay, fair enough.
That's my argument.
Also, Brian, I can make coffee in the morning at the campsite because I got 2.4 kilowatts of power here, so I can just plug in my grinder and my coffee pot. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, I got to do aftermarket for that too. You got a point. You got me there.
All right, Brian, you want to tell me some of the things you've got?
Yeah, let's hit it. All right, come on down to the cool town over here, Craig. So first of all, let's go backwards up because we're already here. Look, you've got a point. You've got a point. Our exhaust tip didn't make it, okay? It's fine. It's just damaged. That's all it is. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cut it. The way Ford designed this exhaust, the hangers are placed where we can just chop it, and it's perfect. It's just like there's no additional hangers needed or less or anything taken off. It'll be just like that one over there. We're gonna copy Toyota's idea. It's a good idea. We need it here. Something we don't have that does, Craig, is have like ARB style protection, but we do get a metal bumper from the factory. That's nice to have that. Yours also has that. That's pretty cool. Now, your bed hoop is cute, Craig.
It is. It looks good. It looks good.
You could put a little shovel on there.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
A little hatchet or something. We've got an actual bed rack. This is from Cali Raised LED, and they supported our last Tacoma build. This is actually the rack from our old Tacoma.
That actually was really good.
It's a really good rack. We love this thing. We've used it a lot. We've got, between the trucks, probably 20,000 miles on this thing, and it has been flawless. We've taken it on and off a bunch. We've got a Rotopax. You got a Rotopax?
No.
But you can mount one, in all fairness. You can mount one on your sidebar. That is actually a thing you can do.
I mean, it would take up the whole thing, but yes.
That is true. Do you have max straps?
No, but I have room for these small ones.
Okay, you're qualified for that.
Yeah.
The other thing too, Craig, is we have a tent on this because it's an actual bed rack. You couldn't put one on that.
I would actually, in all seriousness, I would have to remove that rack to
and then
put
one of these on.
Yeah,
so come on over here. We did go with the mid-height rack, but again, Cali Raised has a bunch. This is not a plug by them. We just have it. We love it. We're just telling you about it. If you want one, check it out. There's a link below with a discount, 5% off. We don't have the power release that can break. We have just a tailgate that works, and it is spring-loaded, and it's jamming.
That's cute.
You also don't have red straps.
Oh, that's a good point.
We've got red straps.
Like that. Yeah.
Also, where's your bottle opener, Craig? Because mine's right there.
Well, you got to be responsible out on the trail.
Topo Chico?
Oh, okay. You
got
me.
Come on.
You got me.
All right. So in here you'll see we have a power lid as well.
Okay. How many watts? What do we got?
Well, I mean, I would
tell me what can you put on it.
That one's 9 volt. That's like you can put your radar detector there. Okay. because that's where that goes. And then you have a 110 back here, so you can charge iPhone. You know.
Okay.
You also have from Lasfit liners. This is a sponsorship from a long time ago when we first got the truck. This is the best freaking bed mat.
That actually is a good liner.
People ask all the time, does it lay flat over time? In fact,
completely flat. Look at that.
My buddy Bill asked about that. It does. It's perfect. Highly recommend it. I've hauled a lot of stuff from this, and we're protected. It's pretty nice. Yeah. So that's what I have to work with back here. Now, let me show you rear suspension. We don't get the 5-link. I do hate that. You can get it on the Raptor, a lot less expensive than the Trailhunter, and you can get a 5-link here with Fox Live valve. That's what Ford's offering. But it's not Overland focused like the Trailhunter.
Hey, Brian, yeah, you mentioned on the Monroney that we did something with FX4 suspension. Is that what you're going to tell me?
Yeah, we had FX4 suspension, but now we have trimmer suspension. So check this out.
What?
This is a Fox shock off the back of a 23 or 19 to 23 previous gen Ranger. It bolts right in, although the location is different. The length and stroke is identical. So it just bolts in, no problem, no clearance issues, and it is great. We like it out back. It's doing really, really well. No complaints here at all. Wheel and tire wise, we actually have tires from Firestone, Destination XTs, and I'm just gonna put it out there. We've talked about this before on the show. This is my favorite alternative on the market right now. I say that because this is the tire that you don't go mall crawling with because it doesn't look as cool as a Nitto Terra Grappler or whatever. But this outperforms a Terra Grappler and it's quieter and it has better siping. This is the if you know tire. That's what it is. And I've talked to the Firestone guys about this and I said, hey, what's the deal? Why is the marketing not matching this? You know, the parking lot points aren't there, but the trail points are. He goes, well, Firestone has quietly been developing tires the whole time. They just forgot about marketing in the States, basically. So,
well, maybe this will help.
We probably should put that out there, but we're here to help with that. We are genuinely impressed with it, and we come out of the BFG world, and we like those as well. These balance better, they're quieter, and they're better in the rain. So there's that. In the middle, this is not a plug. We just bought these. These are Rock Tricks wheels, and I'll be honest with you, we've chewed them up on trail a little bit, and they've been nothing but fine. There's no complaints. They look cool. The offset's right. It's actually a Bronco offset, and it's working pretty good here. But we had to buy these to get here.
You're spending some money, boy.
We got some money going. Let's keep on going. We got the stripe, first of all. That's a couple $100 from Ford. That's a factory accessory item.
You have any protection underneath?
We have protection underneath. Of course I do. Come on down.
All right. What do you got?
All right, look under here. You see that skip plate right there?
Yep.
One of them is form fit because
I see that right there.
We tweaked it ourselves. But that is from Rival 4x4. And I actually, where you're looking right now, Craig, there is a transfer case skid plate that we have not mounted yet. And let me tell you why it's not mounted, because we're the first Ranger in the country to have their products. They actually brought the full Australia kit over for the non-Raptors, which is what this is. And we found out that the body punch or the frame punch points are slightly different for the US frame versus the world market frame. So they redesigned the brackets and mounting points. We have the plate in our garage. We haven't tested it yet. We need to get it on soon. But that'll be protected because right now the transfer case is exposed.
Doesn't mean that this is a Hilux and Tacoma situation. It's just a little bit different manufacturing thing in the assembly, final assembly.
Correct. In fact, they scanned the whole truck to make it work, and they're going to adapt their front skid plate. Our front skid plate going from the bumper to the engine skid plate is a factory one because they had to redesign that as well. That's in production now. So moral of the story is we've got some prototype parts on here, but we do have protection comparable to what you have over here. Now, up front, you'll notice, Craig, this gap is kind of small, and we owe some explanation for that. And we have
what's up?
Those same Fox shocks we talked about, they're up front too.
Okay.
There's also a 23 trimmer spring in here, which we know in the old truck actually lifts the front end an inch compared to an XLT. It actually lowered ours an inch. And part of that is because the 24 and 23 mounts are a different design. And so we've had to adapt some stuff. I'm not gonna bore with the details. We're putting the factory spring back in. We're putting a Traxa 1-inch lift on it to balance it out. So next time you see this truck, it should be about here, which will be perfect. These are the Cali raised ditch lights. Do you have ditch lights?
You know, I forgot to mention mine.
Yeah,
Brian, come over here because I'm glad you brought that up. Part of what it comes stock of mine, I'd have to install these, I'd have to wire them, I'd have to call Cali raised as much as I love Cali raised.
Yeah, that's true.
I get this nice light bar integrated into the grill from Toyota, and this thing, when you turn on at night, you see the world.
Yes,
it's wonderful.
It's the sun, yeah.
It does shake a little bit, but different.
Yeah, ours don't do that.
Also, Brian, I get these rigid branded actual fog lights that are...
Are these rigid? They are.
Yeah.
This is not rigid. Okay, now I know why.
They do the whole switchback trick so they can be amber or white, which is really cool. Let's be honest, amber just looks cool.
Yeah.
And then, Brian, I don't know if you see this right here. It says, do not paint.
That's not helping off-road.
I know, but on the road, I got radar cruise control. Okay, now, back to what you have.
Okay, yeah, so I don't have that. So we do have the Cali raised ditch lights. These are awesome. These are actually prototype brackets we've made with them. They're not on sale yet, but they will be in the near future. They're actually really tight to the body at our request. They're going to make them a little bit higher off just so some ease of installation for end users. But we've run this light about a year now between the old Tacoma and this Tacoma, and really happy with this. It has a full spread and it actually has a side angle Ditch lights should point to the ditch. I run these straight because they're better spotlights. And they have such a good siding, well, I don't need to point it to the left to get the ditch lit, so it already has it covered. All right, Craig, I know you've got your fancy dancy hybrid stuff, but I've got good old Ford Pinto base 2.3 liter, well, not base, but architecture. That's where this architecture started at. It then went on vacation to Mazda for a couple of decades, came back to Ford as a 2.3 liter EcoBoost.
So it's an MZR.
It's an MZR, baby, and it is good. It is, look, this motor has been around for a while and it feels like it. It feels like it's dialed in. I'm not sure the Toyota has that same feeling. 270 horsepower, 310 foot-pounds of torque, and I have a diverter valve for the blow-off valve.
Ooh.
Do you have that?
I got something better.
Let's hear it. If you're wondering, that's from Boomba Racing. That's actually off of a Bronco or a Focus ST. It's the same part.
Yada. Okay, let's open my. Oh, calm down. You make such a big deal about hoods like that. That matters. Look, I've got two spots to put this.
Well, we have hood struts on ours, by the way.
Yeah, you had to buy those. I didn't have to buy this. Okay, Toyota gave me that for free. Okay. Well, for $65,000, they gave me that.
Nothing's free on this truck.
Brian, they give me a Trailhunter badge cold air intake. It's like a cone filter, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Tied into this thing right here.
What is that?
You want to hear mine?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, is that a Hyundai Veloster N or is this a Tacoma? I love that.
All right, back to the power numbers because I got you beat there too, buddy.
I think it's a tie.
That is awesome. You got to admit that's pretty awesome. Also, Brian, look at this. This is the XT24A.
Oh, it's changing on us. Okay.
Anyways, what that in the orange, what that means is, Brian, I get 326 horsepower.
Okay.
And 465 pound-feet of torque. What do you got to say about that?
You do not. You do not get 465 pounds of torque.
Explain yourself.
Go check out a road test. I'm not going to hash you out again here. You're not getting to the tire, that's for damn sure.
Well, unfortunately, he's right. So yeah, please watch that video.
Let's check out interior. My turn. Look, here is the American version of the midsize truck. And immediately when I sit down, I go, man, I'm glad O'Reilly's let me borrow their truck.
Okay.
I'm joking. It's not that bad. I do like, though, that we went with the XLT and got the leather wrap steering wheel.
No,
because
that is nice.
The lower grade trims have urethane and it's awful. This feels pretty nice. And it's worn in quite well. We're sitting at 15,411 miles.
Already?
Yeah.
What's wrong with us?
Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Arkansas, Texas coast.
Yeah.
You're commuting.
Yes.
Okay, one thing I want to complain about in this truck is...
What, the gauge?
Kind of not great.
It's kind of terrible.
It's kind of terrible, and that's where the Toyota really wins. The digital cluster in the Tacoma is just better than this. I do like that I get a boost gauge. I wish the number would actually change when I used it, whatever. This is the same screen you get on all the Rangers.
That's cool.
And it's good.
Yeah.
I like it. It's not up and in your view like the Tacoma does or some other brands. I've got good visibility, and while the hood is up, I shouldn't have left it up. The first thing I noticed when I get in here, Craig,
you can see.
The visibility is very, very good.
How's your Bluetooth connection? Does it work well all the time, the CarPlay?
It does, except for phone calls. It's on par with every other Bluetooth thing on the planet, except that when I try to call Craig and he's in another car, I get an echo. That's what happens.
What's going on with your cup holder situation?
Nothing wrong with my cup holder situation. I've got two great cup holders. What are you talking about?
Okay.
I've got my WD-40 coffee, no complaints here, and it fits in the cup holder, works very well. Also, I have physical controls for HVAC if this ever freezes, which it never has. Craig, have you ever had to restart the truck because of the screen?
No, I have not.
Me neither, which that's a huge deal. All that out of the way, we do get cubbies here. We do get a Qi wireless charger here that does seem to work, although I'm not crazy about those. And we have drive modes. Here's actually a negative on the truck. But we have a bunch of drive modes. This thing gets dusty and it gets stuck.
Oh.
Yeah. And it feels really cheap and it's laggy compared to what you see in the cluster up here. That is actually going to be a win for you, I think. But we do have 2 high, 4 low. And you see that right there, Craig?
Yep.
That's a drive mode button.
Okay.
Brings you to an off-road page.
Okay.
It's loading. It's thinking. Oh, here it is. And I can go boop.
What? Not right now.
You just heard it, didn't you?
Oh my gosh.
The diff locked. Oh, I'm in two-wheel drive. The diff locked. Other than that, the seats do feel nice, but the materials inside feel cheaper than I think your truck. That's really all I got to cover. There's no rear AC vents and there's no rear AC cup holder, but I can fit myself in the back seat.
And you have a rear armrest.
We've got tools and crap everywhere. These seats are, this one's actually back further than it should be. That's where I drive over there. I can actually sit back here, or my kids in the booster seat. Plenty of room. My kids have never complained about room in this truck. That's actually a huge win.
Yeah, we'll just get out of the way, Brian. You're right. We've got some gear back here, and we've got the seats where we like to sit up front.
Huh. That's,
you can see that you can't barely fit my hand back there. Like
yeah.
It's,
here's my hand.
You're
and I'm
just
dragging.
Here's what happens if you have anyone else with you. you have to move the front seats forward. So then the front occupants aren't happy and the rear occupants are kind of marginally happy. You also don't have a rear armrest, and you have zero storage underneath the seat because you have a hybrid battery.
It's a hybrid. Do you have rear AC?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have that either. So
that's all the bad. Let's get to the good. Let's go to the front. Okay. Because Brian, you come up front here, and this is actually where some wins start happening. We don't get an actual key. And I will say, your remote start works better than this remote start.
Yeah, but that's also.
But you know, whatever.
Fords are pretty good at that.
Okay, but Brian, look at the door.
Oh yeah.
Okay, look, you can put bottles for days down there, and then if you need more room, there's a little MOLLE panel you can attach stuff to.
And if you drop your phone in here, it just falls into a slot.
And everything just feels a little better.
And it's soft touch here, soft touch there. The stitching's nice. This looks super cool. Going back to cool.
It does. You're getting some cool stuff.
And the ergo works.
Ergo works in here. Yeah. This steering wheel feels a little nicer than the Ranger one. It just does.
Yep.
I have a heated steering wheel. I guess a higher trim, but I paid for all that.
Yeah, we can't even do it in the Ranger.
And the heated steering wheel works really good in here.
Yeah.
The best thing over here, Brian, is they give you just a better gauge cluster. Now I know it's a little bit trim specific. You get a better gauge cluster in the Ranger Raptor, but you know, whatever.
The TRD off-road, we had a full gauge in that.
Yeah.
And that was the same spec.
Good point.
Full spec as our XLT Ranger.
Yeah, Toyota's winning the instrument cluster. You're right.
Yeah.
Also, Toyota's winning, Brian, the button game.
Oh yeah.
They give you buttons everywhere for days, and same thing, HVAC controls. I get physical buttons that way if this ever freezes, although haven't had an issue with it. You get a huge screen here, which I'm with you. Actually, arguably, it blocks the view a little bit, and this view's not as good as yours. You're right. But Brian, look what I get. Look at this. A Bluetooth
Look, I can't argue.
Portable speaker built into my dash.
Like, not only that, this JBL stereo is real freaking good.
You lose in the rear, basically.
Yeah.
You win up front, I think.
Okay.
That's pretty nice.
All right, let's get into the brass tacks. So your truck was how much?
$65,000.
Mine was 42. Let's go off sticker.
Okay.
Let's just keep it simple because these trucks, some have markup on them, some don't.
And every market's different.
All different. Wheels and tires. We spent $700 on wheels.
Yep. You're at 43.
Okay. The tires are about $1,000. The ditch lights are, let's call it $250.
Okay.
Okay. The bed rack is about $800.
Okay, so you're at 45.
Okay. The tent is $1,000. $800 in shocks.
Okay, so you're 47.
47.
You also have skid plates.
Let's call it $1,000.
Okay, so 48.
Okay. And we added a trailer hitch. That was $200. Well, with the stripe was $200.
So let's just say you're safely under 50.
Under 50.
Just under 50.
Yeah. Now, I know we had a lot of help on the truck with sponsors, but if you try to replicate it, that's where you're at.
Yeah.
So, Craig, let's answer the questions now.
Okay, let's do it. Let's just get into it.
Is it cool?
I think they're both cool.
I agree. I think it's a wash. I think they're both cool, although I think this is cooler to more people.
I was going to say that. I think arguably and unscientifically, this is a little cooler, just looks-wise.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Whatever.
I agree, and I think, do you want to give it a point for that? Because I think to the masses, for me it doesn't. It's a wash. But for the masses, y'all tell us below. I'm going to call it a wash in the episode. But y'all tell us below which one you think is cooler.
Yeah.
Is it capable?
Well, we have taken that thing on. Check out an off-road video for another link down for that. Yeah. But we've taken on things that should not have been on. No business, especially with our front end situation with lift and height. It made it.
No problem.
Did not care.
Yeah.
This thing is unbelievably capable too.
It really is.
Check out the hill climb for that.
I'm going to give this a cool points because I think that's cooler to us than anybody else, and the sales reflect that.
Yeah.
This wins the cool points.
Okay.
Capability is definitely a wash.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I think, especially once our nose is in the right space in airspace, they're both going to do whatever trail we take them on.
Right.
Okay. The only thing that's going to beat them is like a side-by-side or a Gladiator maybe.
Right.
So they're both stupid capable.
Yeah, both.
They both actually flex really well, which is weird.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's go off of.
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? That's a tough one because we know the value is with the Ranger.
That's better value.
Right. I'm saying, but is it worth it?
I think it depends on the buyer and what they're doing.
Is it worth it to you?
To me, this just costs too much.
And I completely agree with you. And now a blanket statement is I think everything's about 10 grand too much.
Fair enough.
But even at 55, that then makes that 40.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just keep them all where they are. 65 is too much money.
It's too much money.
And part of the problem is it's in-house competition. Yeah. One, you can save a lot of money and go with a TRD off-road Tacoma. You can get a manual, which the Ranger can't do.
Right.
And you're going to be, a little more than the Ranger, but not drastically more than the Ranger. You can go with the biggest problem, I think, is the GX550 Overtrail, which costs, what, 5 grand more than this, give or take?
Right.
That's the biggest problem with this truck. And I know it's not a truck to truck, but like in terms of overlanding, they're definitely in the same category.
Absolutely.
So that's my issue with that, and the packaging in this is such a drawback. It's actually even less value for someone with kids like me.
Yeah.
So they've kind of lost their minds. And then one thing we have not talked about in this episode is the powertrain. Again, go to our road test, we'll rehash that there. The hybrid is, to me, a genuine disappointment for what the numbers represent. Doesn't mean it can't get it done, it's just not doing what they're really marketing it as. All being covered, it's still freaking sick. I love that this truck exists, and it's actually my favorite trim of the Tacoma.
Yeah, it's an awesome trim. I wish you could get it without the hybrid, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. That being covered, anything else?
I think that's it. Toyota, please give us the manual non-hybrid version of this.
Yes, that's a sick truck.
And in an extended cab only.
Yep.
That would be awesome. If we've just created a vehicle you won't sell,
you're
welcome.
Thank you all for watching. Let us know how wrong Craig is in the comments below. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.